Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Muhammad Hashim Kamali, Founding Chairman and CEO International Institute of Advanced Islamic Studies IAIS Malaysia. Tuan-tuan yang terutama, terhadap jemputan tuan-tuan, perempuan yang saya hormati sekalian. Saya rasa gembira hari ini kerana dapat menunaikan janji yang telah pun saya berikan kepada IAIS, iaitu pada hari ini saya akan datang sini untuk melaksanakan amanah yang diberikan, supaya hari ini saya membuat ucapan dan juga pada hari ini kita sama-sama bersyukur kepada Tuhan bahawa IAIS satu-satunya badan yang umurnya cukup baru saja setahun 20 hari umurnya, masih kuat dan akan dapat bertambah besar lagi, dan insya-Allah akan bertambah tinggi lagi hikmah dan kebolehannya. Yang keduanya, tadi pasal Dr. Osman Bakar sebut tadi, saya percaya Dr. Osman Bakar dan kita semua pun senang hati, dan memang pun begitulah baiknya hubungan antara dua-dua organisasi ini yang saya ada hubung kait dengannya, iaitu Datuk Nik Mustafa Isya dan Datuk Profesor Wan Zaliha Isososia, seorang jadi ketua, seorang timbalan. Ini pun ketua lelaki timbalan, sana ketua lelaki timbalan. Aturannya nampak betul dah, alhamdulillah. Dan saya sebenarnya menganggap bahawa jika kedua-dua badan ini nanti bekerjasama, boleh dan tetap akan bekerjasama, maka ia akan menambahkan lagi kekuatan, akan menambahkan lagi tenaga mental, tenaga fizikal, yang dengan itu akan membawa kebaikan kepada kita, kepada kerajaan dan kepada rakyat. Dan di samping itu, dalam hubungan antara kita dengan institusi yang lain di negeri-negeri lain akan menjadi lebih erat dan lebih bermakna lagi. Yang sebenarnya kebaikannya itu adalah akan datang daripada kerjasama yang menjadi saling membantu, saling menolong, saling meneguhkan dan memperkuatkan, dan saling mengeluarkan mujallah, buku-buku, dan menghasilkan pelbagai projek, pelbagai program yang boleh memberi kebaikan kepada negara dan kepada rakyat sekalian. Ini saya percaya dapat kita lakukan. Ini saya percaya akan dapat dijayakan dengan sebaik-baiknya. Dan kepada semua yang bertanggungjawab di IAIS ini, daripada ketuanya sampailah pegawai-pegawai research yang lain-lain lagi, tentu sekali saya nak mengucapkan banyak terima kasih kepada mereka. Ladies and gentlemen, this Institute of Advanced Islamic Studies came into being over a year ago, and right from the start has successfully functioned as a think tank dedicated to civilizational renewal in Muslim countries and to promote inter-civilizational understanding worldwide. When I was Prime Minister, I introduced Islam Hadari as the approach for nation building and good governance, in which the principles of justice and fairness for everyone in Malaysia retain the highest priority. This manhaj or approach served to establish at the same time a fresh climate of trust between different religions and ethnic groups in the country. I am convinced that Manhaj Islam Hadari is suitable for plural societies everywhere. Islam Hadari encompasses the human teachings of Islam. I remain committed, therefore, that Islam civilizational approach is key to successfully meeting the contemporary challenges of socio-economic development, particularly in Muslim countries where the population includes other minority communities and religions. Central to Islam Hadari is the civilizational potential that Islam offers for renewal of societies, grounded upon the essentials for human well-being, uprightness, and equity. We should be concerned that contemporary Islamic discourse has not given sufficient emphasis to these Islamic values, which are in fact universal values. We need to encourage Muslims to think global and overcome the challenges posed by ethnic and religious diversity. We have to admit as well that the immediate task at hand is to establish unity of the Ummah. Many parts of the Muslim world suffer from the adverse effects of sectarian schism and bloodshed. Only when there is true unity of the Ummah can Islam claim leadership in the promotion of universal values which are in fact enshrined in the Islamic religion. Islam is a universal religion of oneness, Tawheed, not only theologically, but also in terms of ethical norms and the integration of values which provide the guidance for social relations as well as fair and just governance. Tawheed rejects artificial division in its perceptions of human dignity, people, welfare, and justice. Sadly, our history has been drifting dangerously along sectarian lines and madhabi divides, so much so that we now stand in a state of tension with the outlook and philosophy of Tawheed. The thirst for consensus and unity in the Muslim world today can best be nourished by the Unitarian spirit of Tawheed and the universalist teachings of our great religion. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, the unity of the Ummah will be a blessing not only for Muslims but for all of humanity as well. A fractured Ummah cannot contribute meaningfully to global peace and security. On the contrary, conflicts within our Ummah shall increase insecurity and feed the flames for discord among nations. It is the duty of all Muslims to prevent a clash of civilization. Instead, we should be supporting an alliance of civilizations based on common values as proposed in the 10 principles of Manhaj Islam Hadari. It should be a comprehensive project for a pragmatic vision of the future that integrates the best teachings of Islam into our nation building and our engagement with other civilizations. World leaders, especially political and religious leaders, should work together to advance the alliance of civilization proposed by the United Nations. We should take the Quranic principle of wasatiyah, moderation and balance, as the guiding light for the understanding of Islam and its vision of human relation within and beyond the Ummah. This is the same principle which inspired the spirit and methodology of Manhaj Islam Hadari. In the Holy Quran, balanced moderation of wasatiyah is inseparable from equity and justice. Social inequalities and economic imbalances are incompatible with equity and justice. Extremism is frequently a reaction against unjust situations within societies or in the larger international community. Pluralist environment of Malaysia is certainly a situation that is important to us to bear in mind in whatever steps and proposal that we are making to ensure that there is strength and unity in our country. It also offers realistic prospects for constructive engagement with other world civilizations. We must therefore advocate both intra-Islamic dialogue and dialogue with other religious traditions and civilizations. Now we are aware that some have taken issue with the word Hadari, perhaps without seriously pausing to reflect on its real intent and goals. Our purpose has been to reawaken the sleeping potential which our Islamic ethical and intellectual legacy hold in abundance to enable us to forge our own authentic model of modernity. The authentic The authentic Islamic principle of tajdeed, not only confined to religious themes in the past, may today be extended and deepened to embrace tajdeed Hadari civilizational renewal. Our approach to civilization renewal should thus be guided by the tajdeed methodology when attempting to formulate appropriate responses to globalization and other tasks facing the Ummah in the 21st century. Our dual purpose then, as well as now, has been first to meet the challenge of globalization, and second, to confront the hegemonic claims of civilizational superiority by those forces that dominate the process of globalization. This is, I've just been abroad. The weather was so cold. I'm still coughing until now. I'm not bringing back I1, H1, whatever it is. You shouldn't worry about that. We should not forget that Islam has always been We shouldn't forget that Islam has always been a religion as well as a universal civilization from the outset. This is a pertinent feature of our tradition that has not received adequate attention. The humane imperative upheld by Islam is clear. Mutual recognition and friendship, ta'aruf, among nations, cooperation in good works, ta'awun, honoring family ties, silatul rahim, and the active realization of knowledge are among those timeless civilizational teachings which the Quran addresses to the whole of community. Their relevance for today remains constant. The civilizational ethos of Islam is rooted in three Quranic master ideas. One is the innate dignity of man created. One is the innate dignity of man's created nature known as fitrah. Another is the unique distinction of a human dutyship on earth as God's Khalifa in creation. The third is that humans are entrusted with the flourishing habitation of the earth, or imaratul ard, by establishing a social order. The third is that humans are entrusted with the flourishing habitation of the earth, or imaratul ard, by establishing a social order grounded in moral virtue, in compassion, beneficence, human dignity, and justice. It is unfortunate that in some Muslim societies, Islam has become identified with narrow nationalist and cultural boundaries. This society should instead be expanding into the horizon of fitrah, or inborn human nature. Thus, this civilizational vision of Islam exhibits a different order of inner ethical and intellectual engagement than what we have witnessed in recent decades. The simplistic way of thinking and discourse of Muslim political revivalism, focusing on external social mannerisms and what Muslims should wear or eat, is no longer adequate for the work that is facing us today. In our capacity as God's visitants on earth, we are the custodians of its ecological balance and the health of its natural environment. The progressive environmental degradation we are witnessing countries the civilizational mission and religious mandate of Islam. There has been too much preoccupation with outward religious rituals, often at the expense of Islam's higher aims for securing genuine human well-being. Rather than exploring balanced human and economic development or ensuring fair and just governance, recent discourse on Islamic revivalism has preoccupied itself with divisive ideological and juridical issues. In fact, such discourses have led to vengeful violence and indiscriminate killing of innocent people. At the top of our agenda must come nation building and establishing a fresh climate of trust between various economic and religious groups. Our mission is to strengthen social harmony and cohesion in a pluralist society. This is not a destination, but a process of continuous engagement for all people in Malaysia. Our foundation of unity as Muslims imposes the responsibility to prioritize a coherent set of principles and objectives shared with our fellow citizens, despite any differences in language, ethnicity, or religion. It is vital for all of us to stand together and support the oneness of our society and nation. It is vital for all of us to stand together and support the oneness of our society and nation, Satu Malaysia. This must remain the continuing commitment of our people, civil and educational organizations, political parties, and the government. We in Malaysia are fortunate that to a large extent we have been able to celebrate our diversity in many ways. However, more than merely tolerating the views of others, mutual respect requires that we sincerely and directly engage each other. We have no alternative but to build long-term bonds of confidence and understanding. Cultivating genuine respect can yield fruitful results in repairing the inconsequences of the past and preparing for harmony and prosperity in the future. Strengthening the roots of unity demands a sense of dedication and purpose so that Malaysians may achieve a unified society where people enjoy partaking in one another's cultural diversities and lifestyles. The taste and color that all may bring in our day-to-day living experiences as colleagues and neighbors, friends and relatives truly enriches our lives. In the Malaysian context, IAIS provides a rare platform for Muslims and non-Muslims to exchange critical views on sensitive issues in a reciprocally respectful manner. It gives me great personal satisfaction to see that IAIS Malaysia is now recognized for providing a shared common space illuminating a recent path of cooperation between diverse peoples and faiths. For this, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to congratulate and to thank Professor Hashim Kamali, the founding chairman of CEO of IAIS, for providing the leadership, his personal effort to make IAIS a center of excellence. Tania, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, our approach to economic development, nation building, and poverty eradication must be informed by ethical norms that energizes accountability and good governance. To speak of religious piety without integrating ethical and religious concerns into our personal conduct violates one of the vital higher aims of Islam. Such a divorce between the public and private spheres weaken our shared goal of creating an exemplary nation that celebrates its cultural diversity as a positive asset. 14 centuries of Islamic scholarship and its authoritative interpretative endeavors have left us with an intellectual legacy of considerable diversity and faith and depth. This legacy embraces a wide scope of differing schools and madhabs, ranging from the conservative to moderate to liberal interpretations of the tenets of our faith. There is a need to prioritize a set of objectives flowing from normative teachings of Islam, yet relevant to the real concerns of our society and generations. The 10 principles of Manhaj Islam Hadari are intended to fulfill the need. Without these goals, our nation's progress in unity may be exposed to unceasing disagreements that only distract us from our national endeavor of strengthening the foundations of social harmony among ourselves. Managing social cultural diversity and channeling the creative energies of the varied communities in our midst is indeed a demanding task. This underlines the importance of defining a national endeavor that celebrates diversity while deeply informed of an unshakable awareness of our nation's unity and the oneness of humanity in God's creation. Yet the road ahead, ladies and gentlemen, is an upward path with many difficulties to surmount. The serious efforts undertaken here in IAIS should be coordinated and networked with similar efforts underway in order and should be coordinated and networked with similar efforts underway in other Muslims as well as non-Muslim societies by parallel organizations and institutions in our immediate region and throughout the world. We are convinced that creative policy-oriented research nourished by higher civilizational values is so important for our nation and the entire world. The truth is there is a shortfall within Islamic nations of credible institutes that can serve as Islamic think tanks dedicated to sound academic research and at the same time produce practical results with relevance to real issues. Over this past year, this institute has distinguished itself by its remarkable record of achievement. It has grown into an important forum dedicated to interdisciplinary research into the critical issues of reconciling tradition with modernity, inter-ethnic and interfaith relations, and the refinement of educational methods in our center of learning. IAIS Malaysia is providing its utility by providing direct practical research for Malaysian policymakers, education leaders, and the several religious communities forming the rich mosaic of our nation. I wish to commend the dedication, the vision, and hard work of the leading officers and research fellows of IAIS Malaysia. This institute has embarked on the demanding task of ensuring that faith and moral integrity take their rightful place in the public sphere and that wisdom and intelligence guide our nation's policies and shape our global position. It offers the realistic hope that harmony and reciprocal respect between communities may grow deeper roots and nourish mutual understanding. This is not something to be taken for granted, but requires continual efforts and goodwill, selfless service, and sacrifice. Our age shows the green shoots of a conversation between civilizations. The era of clash and rivalry cannot last and has been exposed as self-defeating. It is imperative we ensure that Muslim peoples are well prepared and equipped to contribute meaningfully to the emerging global civilizational conversation. Our pragmatic steps have to be taken when engaging meaningfully with other civilizational blocs and regional bodies. The civilizational potential which Islam offers relates directly to the need to build genuine trust and reciprocal respect between diverse people and faith. These apply both for Malaysia's nation building as well as for the global Muslim community when seeking cooperation and recognition from others. There is scope for like-minded institutions of scholarship and research, both within and outside Malaysia, to liaison more effectively among themselves and pool their resources together. We must continue to explore fresh avenues of cooperation and joint research on topical issues of concern to Malaysia, as well as to the Muslim world and the international community. We must effectively employ our imagination and creative intelligence towards raising the superstructure of Tajrid Hadari, grounded on the solid base now in place. The work of renewing human civilization through equipping it with more adequate ethical and intellectual resources for negotiating the needs of our late modern age is a sacred trust. Sacred trust to be met with confidence, hope in the future, and reliance on the grace and guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.